Today, we'll be looking at some foreigners messing with the wrong cops. Let's get right into it. So we have the time a Canadian guy was driving his Lamborghini in Anaheim and got stopped by the cops.
Well, we got lights. We got lights. We weren't sure what he was gonna do, but... Well, our exit's in a mile. Unfortunately, this guy wants to stop now. Yeah, he's definitely on the freeway. I don't want to test the patience. I don't know if you guys know this on the freeway, you don't pull off on the shoulder. You find the first exit, pull over where it's safe for you and the officer, which in this case will be right here. Turn off the car, I said.
I want air conditioning.
He's mad.
For what?
I don't know. What's he waiting for?
Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Good, I'm Sergeant Gonzalez, Anaheim Police.
Nice to meet you.
The reason why I'm stopping you, did you notice I was behind you?
Yeah?
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
Okay. I noticed that you were obviously going faster than 65.
You're
and then you
kidding
made
me.
an unsafe lane change.
You're kidding me, right?
I'm not. Do you have your license and registration, please?
Yeah. So the whole time I was being passed by the, I don't know, like 20 other cars around us.
Can you speak up? I can't hear you.
I said, well, we were being passed that whole time by the 20 other cars around us. That wasn't a concern to you, hey?
Can I have your license and registration?
That's kind of what I thought.
I noticed the license plates, they don't seem like California, or is there a nearby, where are they from?
So, how is it?
I'll go over there so I can talk to you, man.
The cop clearly did target the fancier car, but let's see how this tourist deals with a foreign cop.
All right.
How is it an unsafe lane change?
Okay, so here's the thing. You obviously caught my attention because
I drive a Lamborghini.
You're like, no, not necessarily, because look, I'm a sergeant, and I don't normally pull traffic stops, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So, I noticed, when I looked at my speedometer, I was pacing you, you were like over 80 miles per hour. And the other thing is you're revving your engine, like exhaust loudly.
What? No, this is how the car drives.
So much that when I was on the phone, the officer was like, what is that I was talking to? The other thing is, when you made a change, when you're in the number one lane and you made that left lane change, the vehicle that was behind you had to stop on its brakes.
Well, that happens sometimes.
Well, that's what I'm explaining, the violation.
That's not a violation. Braking because someone's lane changing and signaling is not illegal.
The vehicle behind you had to apply its brakes.
No, how do you know? How do you know he wasn't speeding? If you're saying I was speeding, then he must have been going even faster.
Speeding. That was an unsafe lane change. So where is this license from?
It's from British Columbia, Canada.
How long have you been in the state of California?
4 days.
24 hours at
vacation.
Yeah.
Cool. Is the license valid in Canada?
It is.
Is this registration? This is your insurance?
Insurance is the small one. Registration is the big one.
You know what the speed limit is on the freeway?
Yeah, it's 65.
Okay. And how fast do you think you were going?
65.
This cop's all over the place, but he could easily pull the higher authority card.
So we tried it as British Columbia.
There you go.
There you go.
In my group, they tried it as British Columbia, and we got the return.
Does that say valid? They're doing further digging.
Status shows normal and valid.
Normal and valid.
Name and DOB. It's showing a class 5 or 6, and I'm Googling to see if I can figure out what a class 5 is.
Motorcycle.
Otherwise it does say.
Motorcycle, 5 and 6.
Okay, no further need. That confirms he has a valid ID. Here's the holdup. My dispatcher's saying that your license is suspended.
Because it's from a different country, some officers have a hard time finding that it's valid.
Well, that's why I asked dispatch. That's what they do for their,
That's their job, right?
Right, well, they have an expertise, right? So, yeah, definitely reached out to them because, again, I couldn't even recognize your plate.
Well, you were super cool, man. I didn't set this up. Like, if I was setting this up, I would have done something to really get your attention. I felt I was driving quite normally. I had people still passing me going even faster, and I honestly lane changed. I signaled, I shoulder checked because this does have a blind spot, and when I came into that lane, that guy was going way faster than I was going if he had to brake.
He did brake, and again, like I said, I'm not going to try to cite you. And that's where I was like, okay. And he looked at me, to be honest. He was like, you going to do anything about it? And I'm like, oh.
You're like, okay, this guy allegedly is doing, let's say, over the speed limit. Now this guy's obviously doing even faster than him if he had to brake.
Well, because you're coming up, that's right. So I think what happened is it's kind of a moot point because I'm not.
It's a moot point. Yeah, you gave me a verbal warning.
Let me ask you about this.
Yes.
What do you think of Lucid Motors? Have you heard of them?
Oh yeah, electric cars.
I test drove one.
And what are your thoughts?
It's way out of my price range, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was nice. It's fast.
You should get a Lamborghini.
I can't. That's out of my price range too. Of course, I'm not going to go too fast, but I got on it.
You got on it. You got on it.
He actually won him over. They even finished their conversation off by talking about cars. Now we have a guy that was also smuggling illegal immigrants into the country, but he went all fast and furious on the cops.
Westbound on 80. Speeds are going to be 112. Still westbound 57. Crossing into Maverick County now. He just tried to run over the trooper.
God damn, that was close.
10-4, vehicle is just trying to run over trooper.
He's headed straight towards traffic.
10-4, vehicle heading towards traffic.
Speeds at 115. Speeds at 115.
Okay.
Speed still 100.
Available unit in Maverick County, start heading towards 57.
Passing in the no passing zone. Oh! Off the road, down into the ditch. Down into the ditch. Hold on. Bell out, bell out.
The fact that he also tried to run the cops over is insane. Next, we have a tourist that was driving a scooter in Bali without a helmet, which is real bad to do if you're a tourist in that country. He then confronted the cops about not stopping the locals, and then this happened.
Yeah, you want to steal money. You want to steal money. You want to steal. I've been watching Balinese come by here over and over again with no helmet. I've been watching the Balinese come by here over and over with no helmet. And you don't stop them. Hey, you don't stop the Balinese. Hey, sorry, slowly. We are the police, slowly. Yes. We can deportation you. You don't stop the Balinese people. All the Look, we don't stop the Balinese people. Please don't touch me. Hey, please. You don't stop the Balinese people with no help.
All people don't manage up.
You too much talking.
You too much talking. You make bad in Bali.
So you didn't have to pay no. Police didn't mean money. Touch my stuff. Keep your hands off. Yeah. Keep your hands off. Let's see the Balinese.
Now we have the time a doctor got stopped in South Africa. It turns out he did not have the right documentation on him to prove he was allowed to work in the country.
Is there anyone that you can contact?
Phone somebody. Phone somebody. You come and collect the bike and to bring your passport. If you don't have a passport with you, you are going to be arrested and you're going to be detained. So if somebody must come and bring you a passport,
and then you're going to get a traffic fine for driving without your valid driver's license.
Where are you from? Iran.
So it turns out he was practicing medicine and earning a living without even having the document to do so. He was later arrested when he failed to produce the correct paperwork. Now we have the time a guy was being pulled over by the cops and the craziest things happened.
hands behind your back. You're under arrest for human smuggling.
What? Where are you from? From Cali. What are you doing over here? Visiting my uncle. ¿No esconderte? No. Okay, levántate. Manos arriba.
Can we take a whole picture of him real quick?
The amount of people that the cops managed to get together added up to 10. This next couple took a trip to Bali and decided to ride a bike without a license. Take a look at their encounter with the cops.
It wasn't really clear. There was a pretty good opening where it looked like it was a legitimate lane for us to go down, and there were other scooters taking that lane as well.
Straight right here? I think we're lost.
As we got further down the road, we started to kind of realize that something wasn't right. It was getting more narrow and there was a lot more traffic coming towards us. Right about the time we started to slow down, the cop was just like right there in front of us on foot, and he just threw his hands up and was telling us, stop, stop, stop. The first thing I asked him was, what's the problem? He said, this is a one-way. And we just said, oh, we didn't know. He told us to turn the bike off. He asked for our license and registration, and he took the keys out of the bike. And that was probably the most aggressive thing that he did. I wouldn't say that we felt threatened, but we were definitely skeptical. So we handed him photocopies of our driver's license, and we weren't sure about the registration though. He said it's gonna be under the seat. So on the scooters, you can pop the seat and there's usually a little compartment under there. So we popped that and there was no registration in there. It turns out that this is something that if you're renting a scooter in Bali, you need to be checking, does it have papers? So with the key in his hand, he just turned around and said, follow me, and started walking down the street. And at this point was the height of not knowing what was gonna happen. We had no idea where we were even going, whether or not this guy was a real cop. We couldn't just turn around and leave because he had the scooter key. We walked up these steps and he just pulled out this book. He opened the book and he started pointing and showing all the offenses. Driving the wrong way and then also not having papers. So he was pointing at each one of these offenses and it had a large number in the millions of rupiah. So at this point, we weren't even sure like what was happening, like what did he want us to do? And then he said, you're gonna have to go to court, you're gonna have to go to court. Break the rules, you gotta pay. I mean, I can just remember that's all he kept saying, break the rules, you gotta pay. After several minutes of kind of going through this routine, he finally said, if you settle up with me now, you don't have to go to court. He starts out telling us that we each need to pay 400,000 rupiah, and then we're all settled, we can leave. So then Cooper pulls out 300,000 rupiah, he takes it and he says, okay, go, 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 go.
How crazy. The fact that bribes are so common there makes you think if it's a legal stop or not. Of course, theirs was because they drove down a one-way.